My friends at G Fuel just launched a new flavor, Sour Phaseberry, and in celebration, my code ESPRESSO is now 30% off through Monday the 25th. If you guys are interested, check the link in the description below to get 30% off your order. So yesterday we found out there was a nuke hidden in Bunker 11 in Warzone, and that was something, but the mystery is still unfolding and even more is being understood now that time passes, and there looks to be even some progressions here on the near future. Now, you guys seriously seem to enjoy yesterday's little guide on how to unlock the bunker, so today, having done it a few more times last night and understanding a little bit more with each passing time, I wanted to share with you guys some further clarity on the bunker, the phones, and everything as we piece together so far what we know and what it correlates to in the larger picture. Yesterday we had some stuff, but we maybe were missing the accurate paths from point A to B and things of similar nature. So today I want to run down as sort of an extension of what we discussed yesterday with you, but in a much more completed capacity. So that said, let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to be the case here with the outcome of this Easter egg? Do you think we'll nuke Verdansk in the Warzone map? Do you think it's something that just keeps telling the story in the background? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts. And as well, if you are new to the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all these steps and everything relating to Modern Warfare and Warzone as we progress through this hunt and also into what is going to be Season 4 here very soon. But anyways, let's get into it. Firstly, to preface this, I want to start by discussing some of my own frustrations in going to solve this puzzle yesterday. When my squad and I were running this yesterday, we ended up coming into a couple of situations where we kept getting tripped up on stuff that didn't really seem to make sense. Either we were hearing a number that wasn't there, or it was something that there were multiple phones in the same location. So when you have something like an Easter egg like this, you had to wonder, there has to be some sort of basis and some rule sets here for those phones, especially in the ones where there are two per location, right? Some way to tell which is which and which one you should be hitting rather than just trial and error, because each code is random for each game. So an Easter egg with a 50-50 chance right off the bat that one part of it doesn't work, that just didn't seem right. So that's where our new list of locations and phones come into play. After a ton of trial and error and a bunch of stuff around the community, we ended up seeing this getting pieced together, and it seems like there's now a method to all the madness. There are actually two types of phones: trigger phones, one that will activate the sequence for you to go and that wild goose chase to find the other corresponding phones, and also the Morse code phones, the ones that are actually in that sequence and are the three that you have to activate to unlock the bunker. Now it seems like there are 8 trigger phones as well as 10 Morse code phones, so 18 in total, which, as it seems now with a much larger number of phones actually active in the map, seems to fill out the phones that we all know about, because that was another mystery that tripped me up, is that why were there some phones that just seemingly were left out? Because we knew of these phones since the launch of Warzone. I'm talking like day 2 that all the interactable phones were found, so why would so many be useless? Well, it turns out that's actually not the case. But for the trigger phones, let's run down these locations first. On screen, you should be able to see each location of the map accompanied by the actual phone for clarity, and then we'll come back out and zoom to the larger map overall with each location just on a broader perspective zoomed out. So trigger phones can be found firstly in the small residential area just outside Promenade West, on the side office desk just on the edge of that middle courtyard and the storage containers. There's another one in the southernmost metal office building on the first floor by the large hangar and boneyard on the desk just by that window. Another one is in the loading area reception desk in the port building closest to the Sea Flag location that is vacant in ground war. In the skyscraper of downtown Tovorsk, that high-rise office building, that floor there, just before you get roof access, there's a phone in there that you can end up activating as a trigger phone. In the bullpen of the broadcast floor and TV station, there's a sea of telephones there and desks, so if it's not entirely clear where this one is, I do apologize, but there is a phone in that bullpen as well. There's one in the side parking lot offices of Lozov Pass, just below apartments. In the small town just across from the airfield, just across the river, there is what looks like a sort of 2-story white building that is seemingly a school. In the ground floor with a bunch of money stacks behind it, there's a phone on that desk as well. Then there is one in the upper offices of the car dealership by the airport, and then finally one in the lower control room at the bottom of Dam. Now, one thing that I've found is that for these trigger phones, not every single one will be active each game, which is what makes this a little bit frustrating, especially because the entire Easter egg itself is basically just a race against the clock, because the match will finish, and if you don't obviously have that bunker opened up, if you haven't explored it, you're gonna run out of time. So there's a finite amount of time to do this in, but if you get to one and it's not activated, you'll end up getting the disconnected dial tone like so. But if you end up getting one that is active, you should have a dialogue that is a longer form conversation, and then we'll greet you with a sort of chime noise that we mentioned as of yesterday that will sound like this.
На севере чисто. На севере чисто. Надо прорываться на север. Понял. Отряд выходит. 9, 3, 7,
Now, what's curious is that one that I just played for you, that activation conversation, that seems to be new as of today. I played in activated phones for what felt like the better part of 10 hours yesterday, and I didn't hear that one single time. That part of the dialogue before the chime and the numbers kicked in, that wasn't there for me yesterday. And what's weird now is that I've actually heard that prefacing dialogue both before the numbers and before the error code that pings if you get the sequence wrong. So that part I'm still trying to piece together and work out, but it seems like some of the dialogue may at least be progressing as well. But anyways, that's the activation or the trigger phones. Once you activate those, you'll be greeted with, again, 3 numbers in Russian. Previously, we were missing 2 phones. We had 2 to 9, but we didn't account for 1, and also we didn't account for 0. Not 10, but instead 0. These are the remaining phones across the map, but after the chime ends up kicking in, listen for the 3 distinct words followed by slight pauses. These will be your numbers that you need to track down, and of course, to do that, you'll need to translate. On screen right now, you'll see the numbers 0 through 9 in Russian, and of course, their corresponding pronunciations. Jot those down, and then that's where you can start the hunt for the Morse code phones, which we'll run through right now, their locations. 0 is in the upper tins of military base. There's that 2-story crate on the side closest to the street. In there, if you go to the second story of that crate, there's a desk with a phone on it, and that's what you're looking for. Number 1 is in the bank in downtown. It's the office on the right in the main entrance. Seems like a server room, but there's a phone in there. Phone number 2 is in Lozov Pass, or the apps compound, that 2-story white building, the gun store. In the second floor office upstairs, there's a desk by the window that has a phone on it, and that's your target. Number 3 is in the back smokestack building of Quarry. In the back office room there's a control panel with a mounted phone on it. That's number 3 there. Number 4 is in the second story of the police station of the town just north of Lumber. You'll go up the stairs and it'll be on the left side near the hatch to get on the roof. That's where you'll find the phone. Number 5 is in TV, once again, one of those ones that has 2 phones in one location, but this one is instead in the side offices closest to the broadcast tower, but of course still inside. Number 6 is in upper ATC, that observatory there overlooking the runway and the entire airfield. There's a phone on the control panel up there. 7 is in the lower luggage basement of airport. 8 is in the main reception area of hospital, and then 9 is the upper control panel of dam, actually underneath the concrete walls itself. So those are your Morse code locations, and you'll want to hunt them down in whatever order the transmission gives you. When you play these correctly and in the order, you should hear the Morse code ring out in just that. If you're met with silence after it plays, that's a good thing, but if you mess up and hit the wrong phone, you'll either just get the error beeping or the Morse code followed by the beeping and some chatter that could happen as well, meaning that you'll need to start over. Now, of course, when you finally finish this, you'll hear the chime and you'll close off that circuit, and you should be good to go. You should be able to enter the bunker at that point, and then from there, of course, you can unlock the new blueprint, which that was actually bugged, by the way, for players that did not get it credited to their account in their armory. That was a bug going around, and unfortunately, it looks like you're going to have to do it again to end up getting that blueprint, but it should be working now for players that do it. But you can see the nuke, you can play around with the computers, you can play around with everything in there, except the only downside is that right now it does seem like we've kind of hit a wall. It seems like we're missing some interactable steps that are game side, not necessarily what we as players have to do, and that's something that I'm expecting to see some progress here in the next week or so with it, and to which that brings me to my next point, the fact that we actually did get a very cryptic message from the Call of Duty companion app. It ended up sending out notifications alerting players that tomorrow we're going to get some intel or something happening, maybe even in-game, to which the notification said, "Eyes only, confidential, to Armistice senior operators," with the subject line of tactical alert. On May 19th at 2337 Zulu, Coalition SIGINT intercepted flash traffic from AQ Regional Command outside of Verdansk. Message calls for a priority IP call with an unknown. Suspected recipient is target Denver. Timing of meeting unknown, suspected for 21st of May. Location to be confirmed. Surveillance activity has been authorized. Maintain vigilance on comms for location of enemy surveillance. With the then caption of maintain vigilance on comms. It's a critical intel alert. Now, of course, that doesn't really give us any insight as to what we may be seeing happening, but tomorrow sure seems to be something big. Yesterday, that 19th of May, of course, was when the update went out, whenever everybody was able to start getting into the bunkers and everything, but it seems like this may be progressing a little bit further. One theory that I'm seeing thrown around is that possibly this is something that ties in with Call of Duty 2020, which would honestly be really cool, I think, here. That would make sense if the rumors of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is actually the name of the next title as rumored. I mean, we take a look at these bunkers, if you look inside Bunker 11, there's a lot of Cold War era Soviet decor involved in all of this, but it is also something that I don't know if we'd be seeing that just yet, though at the same time, that toss-up still continues, because if there's 60 million accounts and 60 million players across the world playing Warzone free-to-play, that's a terribly large missed opportunity to market something in-game to 60 million people that could potentially see that. So I don't know where that will go. Maybe it's just something for Season 4. Maybe it's something for a live event. We'll have to wait and see, but it seems like we're going to be getting some more information later tomorrow. But anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys about that here and let you know everything, update the information that we have at hand. But I think that is where we're going to wrap it up. So I would love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you think is going to happen with this? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? What do you think is going to happen with the overall Easter egg at large? I would love to hear your thoughts, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and of course, Easter eggs like this stuff will keep you up to date with absolutely anything you need to know. That said, if you guys also want to get connected from outside of YouTube, practically live on both Instagram and Twitter, so if you guys want to check those out, links are in the description below. But thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.